their garage. Well, I'm just sitting out here in one of my seats. Today is seat day for the TJ project, and we got some new Bestop seats, the Trailmax 2 Sport high back fabric seats. I picked those because they look the closest to the factory style as the old ones. Now the old ones were still okay, had a lot of wear in them. Now if you're going to pick a seat to replace one of the factory seats with, of course it would be a factory one. There's a lot of functionality that the factory ones have. It's got the fold and tumble, it's got the little tab you pull up, and you lose a little bit when you put in a non-factory seat. However, because of the cost involved in producing another seat just like the factory one with the cables and all the other garbage in it, they don't make one like that. So the closest thing that I found was the Trailmax, and I'm really pretty happy with those except for a few things. So let's take a look at the Trailmax seats, what it takes to install them, how they look when they're finished, what's good about them and what's bad about them. They're heavy and I'm having a lot of fun doing this. So here's the factory driver's side seat, and it looks okay. You can tell that it's 15 years old. The tabs no longer work here as far as like pulling this to make it go forward, because those cables usually went out, so you're not losing a lot with that. Dirty, we're going to take the bottom of it off and show you what we need to do. Basically all we're going to reuse from the seat is the base assembly, and then you've got to do some adapting on the Bestops. Randy's here! He's down in Texas doing a show with a country music performer, which shall remain nameless, but it's not Garth Brooks. He's as famous as Garth Brooks.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Anyway.
Older than Garth.
He's older than Garth. He knows Garth. They're friends. Anyway, he's drinking a beer, a Shock Top Lemon Shanty, which I gave him, and then he kind of complained about it like a girl. Do you like it, though?
I don't like lemon in anything.
Oh, God. Lemon in free beer is good.
Yeah, that's fine. It
yeah.
matches the shirt kind of.
Yeah, okay. So he's wearing his Pred shirt. Got one more game. Maybe we'll win, and then we go on to the Game 7, or it's all over in Nashville tomorrow night.
Yep.
But we had a good run so far.
Yeah.
All right. There's Jennifer. Say hi, baby.
Hi, baby.
Hi, baby.
There's the puppies. Joey.
I saw your the latest video. Who dislikes any of your videos?
I don't know.
On what basis would they actually dislike one of your videos?
I don't know. Do you understand that?
No. No, I showed it to that guy that would remain, country artist that remains anonymous, you know.
Anonymous and nameless.
SW.
Yes. Who is a member of the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah. And his brother, who travels with him,
yeah,
really likes the Jeeps too.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, he's gonna check out your
okay,
channel.
awesome. All right, this is the dirty underbelly of the beast of the old seats, and you can see that indeed the cable is already broken. That goes up to the top, which is pretty common on these things. The cable usually breaks for the tumble portion of it, but you got to get the bolts off the bottom to get this hardware off, because we're going to reuse it. Now basically you got four 13mm bolts on the bottom that we're going to take off to get all this housing off, and then you're going to remove this bracket to allow it to come loose from the frame, and this has got some zip ties here and here for the seatbelt warning. And that's it. That's what we need. And it looks like this seat had issues at some point, and someone broke the springs and then stuck a piece of wood underneath it. Here you can see that wood somebody's placed underneath it, so I don't know. I was thinking about selling these on Craigslist. May still do it, but we'll see. I want to make sure that I tell them that this is messed up like that. Maybe get $100 for the pair. Alright, I sprayed some wheel cleaner on this, and I'm going to take my little electric pressure washer and just pressure wash the crap out of it, get everything off before we paint it. Okay, last night I painted it and it dried up really nice. I'm going to put some lithium grease on the tracks and everything. Now on the driver's side, I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm installing big boy brackets. You can see them. Let me flip this over and I'll show you. These are the Misch products, 4x4 products, big boy brackets for 97 to 2006 Wranglers. And these go on there and you can see that they actually extended out 4 inches. Right there. And if you don't think that makes a difference, you're crazy. It does make a difference. So I've got the brackets installed on the carrier. This is all tightened down. This bolts into the floor and you can see that's where it gets its additional length. Awesome. So now that we got those on, we can start working on getting the seat cushion mounted to the frame. Okay, so I got the brackets installed on the seat base. They basically bolt here. You got to use a wrench. Usually I just use a ratcheting wrench because it's really tight quarters on that. Once you get that on, then basically your seats are ready to go in once you install the back, which is another show. I'll show you here in a minute. That is a pain. So these are the bolts you got to put in, and you can tell that the other side's a little bit more open, but it's still a pain to get up in there. Raise it up a little bit, and I use a ratcheting wrench to get them tightened down. Okay, so now we're up to the really crappy part, is getting the back on these things, and you would think that there's a mistake the way they made them, the way they fit on, because I mean I struggle with the passenger side seat. You don't want to cross thread it. Don't ask me how I know. I did that on the other one. Hey, Ethan! Sir? I need your help for just a second. The only way I figured out how to do this is get somebody to sit in the seat while I do this. Just sitting in the seat. And that gives you enough weight to be able to pull back to get these back two bolts started. Even then it's a huge pain. Get that material out of the way. Enough to get it started. There we go. And I'll get the other side done. Okay, get up for just a second. Let me. Alright, so it's mounted. I'm going to set it in the truck, but that is truly a pain in the buttocks to get that back on the chair. And we're going to see how this thing lines up with the roll bars and everything else. Alright, for you young guys, it's probably not that hard, but I'm an old man. Gotta pick this stupid thing up. Miss the steering wheel. I had to loosen up this driver's side where this plate would pivot, and I'm going to try to get it lined up again, and then I can tighten it back down. But this has to go over a little bit. See if we can get it lined up. This one does not move on the inner passenger side. It's got a slot up here in the front that allows it to move, but this one is more rigid, so we're going to do that. Okay, so here I'm trying to show the difference between the bracket installed and the factory seat, the distance it goes back. It's quite a bit of difference. It's 4 inches, but it's really a lot further than you would think. I have to click the seat up actually 1 or 2 notches because I'm not that fat. So that's super cool, man. Now, like I said, the only hard part about the seats is moving them forward. You have to pull it forward, reach down underneath, find a little bracket, push it forwards, and then you can tumble your seat. So that's kind of a pain in the butt. I believe maybe you could get in there. There's you can kind of see the paddle right there that goes down. Might be able to get some kind of wire on it. I don't know. But that's really kind of the hassle. If you got people getting in and out of the back, you know, without that, it's It's kind of a hassle. There's the rear seat, and it's the same vinyl material as the front ones, but I didn't get the fabric insert because who cares, it's in the back, and the kids can sit on vinyl. It makes no difference to me, but it looks great. Matching seats, brackets came with it. Super! All right, that's about it for the seats. If you're getting some seats, these Bestops are awesome. They look great. They look like factory seats, truthfully. Maybe even a little bit better. They're durable. The only limitations to these are going to be, you know, the fold and tumble is kind of a pain in the butt. However, if you don't have people riding in the back, it really doesn't matter that much anyway. And as a second note, what I would say is this bracket is awesome. I don't even ride it with all the way back. I probably have it like 1 or 2 notches up, but it gives me plenty of room as a tall person to drive the Jeep and not feel like I'm sitting up on the dashboard. So great product, the big boy brackets that we put on. Anyway, we're going to be working on the rest of the parts of the interior, getting it all finished up, but the seats are a win, and the bracket is probably one of the best things that I've put on here. It just feels great to be able to be back a little bit from the steering wheel and not feel so cramped. And you know what? I've heard people complain. It doesn't raise the seat that much. Anyway, I'm super happy with everything we've put in so far. We're going to keep on moving on, getting everything finished up on the dashboard. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.